This might just be the only video you actually need to watch about habit building, resolutions, all that good stuff for this 2025. In the midst of all of this content, hopefully this video finds you and we can just kind of simplify it and start at square one. How are we going to differentiate 2025 from any other year? How are we going to actually attain those goals that keep escaping us year after year? What will set 2025 apart? So let's get right to the chase, or the meat and potatoes, what you clicked on this video for. What is it that you need to keep in mind coming into this year 2025? What energy do you need to be bringing for this year to hit a little bit differently than the previous ones? The idea is, it is not a race. Like, it is okay if you wake up on January 1st and not everything is different. It's okay if you started the year and you're down in the dumps, or you're depressed, or you're experiencing heartbreak, or maybe you've fallen off of your habits and you haven't hit the gym in some months, or you're just not where you thought that you would be 6 months ago, 1 year ago. You're not there today, you know, you're feeling behind. How to avoid that is another chat that we'll have to have in itself, maybe another day. It is perfectly fine to be coming in that way. Like, it's not like some crazy thing where everything needs to be resolved because it's a new year. This is a blessing. This is some fresh air. This is some fresh energy. This is a period that might bring in awareness and reflection. I know that the brunt of us did not have the easiest experiences in 2024. There was a lot of looking ourselves in the mirror. There was a lot of running that couldn't be done. So we faced and confronted pain and hardships. I know a lot of us had a challenging year. I would say a really necessary year, but challenging nonetheless. So let us still recover from that. Let us have grace on ourselves. Let us be kind to ourselves. Like, what is the point of just rushing in? I don't feel a need, and you should not feel a need to just be rushing into the year and conquering everything. This next few months, we're still in the winter time. We're still in hibernation. The animals, the birds, the bees, they are resting. They are somewhere in a cave sleeping. They're like on the other side of the world where it's hot. We're still in slow period, and due to the brutal beating that many of us had to take last year, we're still in freaking recovery, and that is okay. The best service that you could do to yourself is to feel that, is to process that, is to look back at the last year, 3 years, 5 years, and use that information to now assess and adjust and see what you want in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Be aware of where you are right now and what are the next actionable steps that you can take. Really deciding, what do you want for yourself in the next year. Doing this is only gonna benefit you. It's gonna benefit you in so many ways. You'll be able to process and truly wrap your mind around everything that's happened in the past year, digest your lessons, and make a game plan on how you're gonna apply it in the future, so you're not relearning the same lessons. You're gonna be able to celebrate your wins and congratulate yourself for how far you've come, for where you are. You get to really think about where you're headed. I don't know about you, but I have gotten so many things that I've asked for only to realize it's not quite what I should have asked for, only to realize it's not what was best for me. The reality is, the story is still writing itself out, and it's okay to be in that phase this early on in the year. Back to the it's not a race thing. Realizing that you actually don't want something is a lot easier if you haven't already moved in that direction or invested much time, energy, because you weren't scoping out the whole scene, really thinking, is this what you want, before you go all in. Working smarter, not harder, using your brain, not just expelling energy for the sake of it, but being more exact or intentional with the way that we're moving and what we're putting our energy into. It's okay to slow down. It is okay to take a back seat and just surrender and be more of an observer in life, rather than just go. Hopefully in doing so, you find grounding and boundaries and balance, and you get to start your year off the exact way that you ended. It's best to start these things off zen instead of stressed or feeling behind or Alice in the Wonderland white bunny energy. Like, that's not the energy I'm trying to come into the year with. There's plenty of months where the heat will be up and I can feel the fire and I can feel the burn. Biggest benefit of this is really spreading down our roots and preparing ourselves for whatever life throws at us this year so that we could be more equipped and allow it to slide off our backs and keep trucking towards what really matters, because there will always be curveballs. Time is moving faster and faster, so we might as well use that as a tool and get serious with what we're doing with our time. The best way that you can use your time right now is to move at your own pace and just hush out all of the comparison and all of the stuff that you see on social media. Yes, fuel yourself with content and media that inspires you and motivates you. Definitely be doing that in the background, but right now get really clear on what it is that you want, that you cannot go any longer without seeing it. That dream, that desire that it's just been on the back burner year after year, or you've tried to convince yourself that it's not truly what you see for yourself or what you believe is possible. You don't have to attain your wildest dreams in 1 year. Because guess what, after that there's more. You're still breathing. There's still going to be discomfort and dissatisfaction and lessons and pain, and there's going to be some other, like, you're going to look up and the mountain is still going on. It's about not allowing this year to escape you like all the previous ones has, and breaking it down into tangible steps. Something that if you focus on that this year, it can really catapult you or push you in alignment with that vision that you have, or at least make you feel fulfilled, at least make you feel happy, at least pour in blessings or lessons and experiences that you need to get you there. What that actually looks like is preparing myself. Like, I just brain dumped everything that I see for myself in 2025, all of those loose ends, even if it was like down to an actual like to-do list, anything that has popped up in my head that's like, oh, I need to get that done, I need to do that, like putting it all down on paper physically. I just brain dumped the heck out of that. Just to have that all on paper in one place, it just felt like a load was lifted off me, especially if you are anything like the ADHD brain that I have. It's an experience to remove it from your head and put it down on paper. And now I feel like I have a tangible, at least starting place to sift through and kind of navigate what is the most important for me. Also, what that looks like is, yes, being aware of the finish line, but also being real about where I am right now and where I've been. Like, this also means like giving yourself kudos and like actually recognizing how far you've come on your journey, because I know that a lot of the times, especially when I'm looking forward and planning, I can feel so overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I still haven't attained this, like, oh my gosh, I'm not there yet. Like, if you haven't listed out all of the things that you've accomplished in the last 1, 3, 5 years, I would, even if it feels like you haven't done anything, I would definitely do that. Every battle, every win, every glow up, every mindset shift, every accomplishment or difficult trying time that you have made it through, like just listing that out and having that somewhere. These are like good journaling tools that even if you don't directly realize how it affects you, it is working on your subconscious. I'm kind of getting all over the place. Listing out everything makes you kind of focus in on what you have to do. Starting to go through Pinterest and save like images that speak to me. Also like going through my past liked and favorite things and like saving those images, so that if I do want to make a board, or when I do make a board, it's a little bit more intentional than something I'm just rushing in day of or a couple days and just printing, because I have definitely over cluttered my vision board in the past before too. I usually always did my vision board in December and January, but this year I'm kind of moving away from having the pressure of doing that. And again, I'm just kind of like assessing what is like non-negotiable, what I want my energy invested in this year, what do I not want my energy invested in. And if you haven't watched my last video, please do. What that looks like, also visualizing it before I fall asleep, like daydreaming and visualizing what it is that I hope for, to exercise actually seeing myself living the life that I want to live. And the difficulty of this is something that I feel like people don't really talk about that much, because you hear visualize, but it's actually a skill that you have to build. So practicing that, being assisted with affirmations as I fall asleep, but I'm quite selective with like what resonates, because I don't want anything just all up in my ear as I'm falling asleep. It has to feel good and energetically align. I like make sure I vet the content that I watch, and I take off the autoplay, because again, sometimes I've fallen asleep with the wrong things and it kind of gives me the creeps. I don't know how to explain, because it comes off like it's supposed to be positive, but it just doesn't give that vibe. So I rather not mess with it. But anyway, I'm falling asleep with peaceful music, visualizing and practicing that. And I feel like the better I get at visualizing something in particular, the like more real and feasible it becomes. Journaling a lot, like whatever is on the forefront of my mind. Like this is something that I journal about, what I'm on the camera talking about today. Actually, perhaps I can read you a journal entry, because sometimes that just describes what I'm saying a little bit more than I can with words. But yeah, the little passage that I wrote is, I just brain dumped all the things I would like to see for myself in 2025. Actively, now as I think of some of them, I go back. What I see for myself is allowing me to ease, sort of ooze into the year. I feel a need to be still, slow, if you will. Patience was never a virtue of mine, but the humbling nature of life has a way of poking its little head and reminding me that I don't always have a choice. The universe does not work by my clock. My mom often says to me, use brains and not force, usually when I'm physically struggling to do something, but it still applies nonetheless. What if this opportunity to slow down is presenting itself so that I can take it? What if slowing down is what's on the other side of my hopes and dreams? ... If you're still watching this, you are on the right track. If any of this resonates, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are aligned, and I know that it's always nice to get a little reassurance, but you don't need it. You are a star, you are radiating bright, and 2025 is yours. You are running this, and is no reason why this year can't be everything that you want it to be and more. This is getting a little bit lengthier than I wanted it to, but hopefully you get my message. I could go on and on about this subject, but just take it slow, journal, make a bunch of lists, what you like, what you don't like, what you see, what you don't see, revise and revisit lists and entries from the last few years. Really spend your time visualizing and praying and journaling and grounding down and getting into your routine and eating well, really hibernating, winter vibes. Like, be still, be inside, really try to take in all of the information that you can and prepare yourself for a grind time, for when the sun is out, for when the plants are blooming, for when it's showtime and you're energized and you're ready to conquer the year, the world with full force and attain all of the things. And because you have your game plan, your step-by-step actions, which is what you're building in the next few months or however long until you feel ready. That's the game plan. That's all you need to know. Let's just keep it simple and stay grounded and keep our eyes on the prize. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. If you like my energy, if you like my vibe, please give a thumbs up, please subscribe and stick around, and I will see you guys very, very, very soon.